Hello everyone, how are you today? This is another Froud's Fairy Oracle, and we're talking about the Fairy Godmother, which is, she tends to have little surprises and gifts for you, and usually I have to go through, pretty much the whole deck to find the one I need. Not her. Thank you, Siri, for being right there on top. And there she was. Pulled out the deck out of its little bag and here she is. I didn't even have to move one card. She was right there. That's the kind of serendipity that she brings into your life. She's a really cool energy to work with. She's not necessarily just bippity boppity boo. There is that aspect to her, but there is an aspect of wisdom, of deep knowing, and finding that wisdom and deep knowing within yourself. Her name's Siri. That's what Froud calls her. And she will respond to it. And she'll respond to Fairy Godmother too. And she was an energy that popped up quite a bit at one point. When I was doing a lot of work, she was also, Laloum was also popping up at that point in time too. And both have, Laloum especially has a aspect of giving. And so does the Fairy Godmother. But hers is kind of more in giving and receiving. Of giving and receiving freely. Being willing to take the gifts that come to you with grace and being willing to give back to others or whatever with grace also. Gifts and talents to help you on your way. She's very much includes you in that. It's not just her going boop, bippity boppity boo. I have my mallet still from doing light language. But so put that away. So she has you as part of the activeness of the Fairy Godmother. It's not just her doing things, although when you do work with her, or she starts showing up, you will see last minute things happen, kind of those last minute saves where you're like, where do I get this? How do I make this work? And all of a sudden, bam, it just works. When you're dealing with that too, you can actively pull her energy in also and use it. And timing is one thing she really can help you with too. If you have issues on trying to get the timing on things that you're trying to flow with going, bring in Siri, the Fairy Godmother. She'll really, really, really help you with that. And giving and receiving it unconditionally is really a big theme with this card, and working with that and being able to be like, hey, thanks, universe, I got this, or thanks. It is a more specific thing, saying thank you to people or whatever. And to her too. She's working in your life. It never hurts to be like, thank you, I love you too. I treat fairy energy, whether you're treating it psychological or as a real thing, I tend to treat this stuff as all a real thing. I'm also, I think trees have souls, so I tend to be very animistic when it comes to things like that, of everything kind of just has its own energy and way of being, and that includes things like rocks. But yeah, she's fun. That's one thing she is. When you're working with her in the good side, she is just total fun. And we're heading out of the she finally. There's her, and then I think, oh, that gnome. And then we're into a whole new category. So we're going to be switching energies a little. And I feel like her and oh, that gnome are kind of transitionary energies. Kind of like how we had Solace as we came out of the singers. In that kind of energy, we had this transition with Solace, that card, of creating unity and then moving into the she. And with the Fairy Godmother and I look over here, of course not. Oh, there it is. Fairy Godmother and oh, that gnome. We start to move out of these. Yep. Oh, that gnome's next. Into Fairy Guides and Guardians. So we're going to be changing energies, and I feel like oh, that gnome and her provide a transition from the proper, well, they're sheep, but from kind of things like the dark lady energy that we experienced early on, some of the more intense energy forms that are just perfectly willing to give you a good shove until you get it. And they kind of provide a bridge. When she's not working well in your life, things are just hard. You struggle. It's like you're always you're like Sisyphus pushing his rock up the hill for all eternity. That's what happens when you're like, nope, 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 don't want it, not giving, not receiving. Think Sisyphus up the hill with big rock for all eternity. Do you want to see Sisyphus? Or do you want to have her being like, yeah, let's just meditate it up the hill. Yep, done. So things become a struggle. Judgment comes in, kind of trying to judge everything and ties your energy up in knots. Who's worthy, who's not, who should do. It's not worth it. What if everyone's worthy? How can you give freely with compassion and love and grace and kindness? And that doesn't mean that you overextend yourself. That doesn't mean you give away all your money. It doesn't mean you harm yourself. Because overgiving is a form of blocking her. Because when you're doing that, you're either not realizing you're doing it, or you're doing it because you want the recognition. See how much I give? See what I do for you? See all I do? Why don't you tell me how wonderful I am? That's kind of icky energy. And no one wants to go there. Really, you don't. We've all met that person that's kind of like that, and you're like, they're not fun to be around. Someone who's willing to receive unconditionally and give unconditionally is a lot more fun than the person who's like, please praise me, or I have all these strings attached. And now I'm going to test you to prove if you're worthy, to make sure you're worthy for what I gave you. And then if you're not, I'm going to let you know. We all know people like that. We've all run into them, whether, we're been friends with them at one point in time or whatever. You encounter those people. And when you block her off, your life starts to sour. You share nothing. You take nothing. A lot of times, well, there's two aspects that can happen. There's the share nothing, take nothing people who are like, I'm not giving you it and I don't need you. And then there's the people who are like, I'm not going to give it to you, but you can give it to me. And then third, I guess we have three, because then we got the people who are like, I will give everything until I fall over. Just tell me how wonderful I am and what a wonderful martyr I make. It's not fun. So you want to go for that. Finding the grace with Faery. Finding ways to give and receive unconditionally. It's not quid pro quo, not this or that. It's like in Latin, amabote is how you said, I'll love you if. I'll love you if. That's kind of not what she's saying. She's like, I'm just going to love you because I will. So, it's Faery. Open to grace, open to receiving, open to giving. Just be open to her energy. It's a really cool one to work with. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back next month with Oh That Gnome, and we will be through the sheet. Excitement. Do a little happy dance. I feel like, this is like this major milestone every time we got out of the Guides and Guardians. Now we're through the she almost, and Guides and Guardians. Singers, we're going into Guides and Guardians. So, okay. Bye-bye. Everyone have a wonderful day, and go out there and be the love in the world. Bye-bye.